You've seen the aisles, bright, shiny bags of fertilizer lining hardware store shelves, each one promising a miracle harvest for $30, sometimes more. But what if I told you the Amish grow bigger, healthier gardens without spending a dime on any of it? While most people pour chemicals into their soil and watch their gardens get worse every year, the Amish are feeding entire families with horse manure, compost, and 100-year-old seed-saving secrets. No synthetic junk, just time-tested traditions that cost next to nothing and grow food year after year on the same soil. No fancy machines. How do they do it? If you're tired of wasting money on products that don't work, it's time to learn how the Amish do it. Better, cheaper, and more naturally than anyone else. In this video, we reveal the real Amish secrets behind the most productive gardens in America and why everything you've been taught about gardening might be completely wrong. Amish Fertilizers, turning waste into gold. The Amish rely on a powerful, cost-free alternative to synthetic fertilizers, horse manure. This natural fertilizer contains over 50% more nitrogen than commercial brands, making it a nutrient-rich source that feeds both the plants and the soil. Unlike synthetic options that provide a short-term boost but deplete the soil over time, horse manure improves soil structure, increases microbial life, and enhances long-term fertility. The soil becomes more breathable, holds moisture better, and creates an environment where plants naturally thrive. One horse can produce up to 18 tons of manure per year, turning what most people consider waste into a sustainable and effective growing solution. While others spend hundreds on fertilizers, Amish families build stronger gardens for free, proving that nature already offers the best tools when you know how to use them. Moonphase planting for higher yields. While modern gardeners ignore the moon, Amish farmers use it as a planting guide. Root vegetables like carrots and potatoes are planted during the new moon when gravitational pull draws water deep into the soil, encouraging downward root growth. Leafy greens are planted during the waxing moon when increased lunar light stimulates faster germination. Studies show yields can be 15 to 25% higher when planting aligns with moon phases. Even harvesting follows this pattern. Root crops last longer when pulled during the waning moon, while greens are crispier when harvested during the full moon. Though often dismissed as folklore, the consistent results in Amish gardens support what science is slowly beginning to confirm. Plants evolved with these rhythms and still respond to them today. Long-term soil health through rotation. Instead of planting the same crops in the same place every year, Amish families follow a 4-year rotation. Corn the first year, beans the second, squash the third, and a rest year with cover crops in the fourth. Each plant has a purpose. Corn depletes nitrogen, beans replenish it through nitrogen-fixing bacteria, squash smothers weeds and breaks up soil, and rest years rebuild microbial life. This rotation not only balances nutrients, but prevents pests and diseases from taking hold, since their preferred host crops don't return for several years. The result is soil that grows healthier with time, not weaker. Amish gardens often thrive for 50-plus years on the same plots without ever needing chemical intervention, because their approach supports nature's cycles rather than fighting them. High-heat composting. Fast and sterile Amish composting techniques turn kitchen scraps and garden waste into rich, usable soil in just 3 to 4 months, far faster than the year or more it takes most backyard piles. The secret is heat. By getting the ratio of green to brown materials exactly right, 30 to 1, Amish compost piles generate internal temperatures between 104 to 106 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to kill weed seeds, plant diseases, and harmful bacteria, ensuring only beneficial materials remain. Weekly turning adds oxygen, keeping decomposition active and odor-free. Even hard-to-break-down materials like corn stalks and thick peels decompose quickly. The result is a nutrient-packed, fluffy compost that replaces hundreds of dollars worth of soil amendments, built using nothing more than organic waste and a little precision. Community gardening for shared strength. Amish gardening is never a solo project. Families work together for planting, harvesting, weeding, and food preservation. Tasks that would take one family weeks are completed in a day with the help of neighbors. They also share tools, seeds, and knowledge, reducing costs and avoiding common mistakes. If one family discovers a pest solution, the entire community benefits within hours. Canning and preserving sessions produce 300 to 500 jars per family through group effort, using large equipment and standardized, time-tested recipes. Shared labor not only increases efficiency, it builds relationships and resilience. It's a model that modern communities could learn from: less individual burnout, more collective abundance. Deep watering for drought-resistant plants. Instead of daily shallow watering, the Amish water deeply twice a week. This forces roots to grow down in search of moisture, creating resilient plants that can survive dry spells with ease. Shallow watering keeps roots near the surface, making them vulnerable to heat and drought. Deep-rooted plants, however, access nutrients and moisture other plants miss. Gravity-fed systems using elevated barrels and underground hoses conserve 60% more water and direct it where it matters, below the surface. Ground-level watering also reduces disease, since wet leaves invite fungus and pests. Early morning watering prevents evaporation and gives plants time to process nutrients. Amish water management isn't about convenience, it's about precision, observation, and plant health. Natural pest control through companion planting. Instead of pesticides, Amish gardens rely on plant partnerships. Marigolds deter nematodes and aphids with root-emitted compounds. Basil confuses and repels hornworms while improving tomato flavor. Nasturtiums act as trap crops, luring squash bugs away from zucchini and cucumbers. Row covers provide physical protection during vulnerable stages. Flower strips between vegetable beds attract beneficial insects like ladybugs and parasitic wasps that feast on harmful pests. These biological systems don't just reduce damage, they eliminate 85% of pest issues without harming the environment. By supporting a full ecosystem, instead of targeting isolated threats, Amish gardens thrive with far fewer problems than those treated with chemicals. Cover crops, feeding soil during the off-season. In the off-season, when most gardens sit bare, Amish families plant cover crops like winter rye, crimson clover, and hairy vetch to actively feed their soil. These plants capture nitrogen from the air, prevent erosion, and add massive amounts of organic matter as they decompose. Their root systems break up compacted soil, improve drainage, and create channels for water and air. When spring arrives, the cover crops are cut and left to decompose naturally, enriching the soil without synthetic additives. It's nature's way of mulching and fertilizing all at once. No tilling required, no expensive soil amendments needed. While most people spend winter shopping for the next big gardening gimmick, the Amish let nature quietly prepare their soil for another abundant season. Cold frames and season extension. To grow food beyond the traditional season, Amish families use cold frames built from salvaged windows and scrap wood. These mini greenhouses trap solar heat and maintain internal temperatures 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit higher than the outside air, allowing crops like lettuce and spinach to survive frost. Combined with succession planting, sowing new crops every 2 weeks, this extends fresh harvests well into late fall and even winter. Cold frames are low cost, effective, and durable. Root cellars store produce for months, and indoor seed starting ensures a jump start for warm weather crops. With these techniques, Amish families grow and store food year-round without needing expensive greenhouses or climate-controlled systems. Strategic water timing and conservation. Amish gardeners don't follow a schedule, they follow the soil. Instead of watering on autopilot, they test moisture levels by hand at root depth, ensuring that water only goes where and when it's needed. Early morning watering between 6 and 8 a.m. minimizes evaporation and gives plants all day to absorb nutrients. Water delivered at ground level through buried hoses or gravity-fed systems keeps foliage dry and reduces disease by 75% compared to overhead sprinklers. These simple systems use no pumps or electricity, just elevation and gravity. Rainwater from a single storm can be collected in barrels and provide weeks of irrigation. The Amish system doesn't just save water, it grows stronger plants with fewer diseases and zero waste. No-till gardening for soil life preservation. Instead of digging, plowing, or disturbing the soil every season, the Amish leave it alone, and their soil thrives because of it. No-till gardening allows beneficial fungi, bacteria, and earthworms to build stable, living ecosystems underground. These organisms create nutrient-rich tunnels, recycle organic matter, and naturally fertilize the soil. Tilling, by contrast, destroys this microscopic community every time it's done. In Amish gardens, organic matter increases by 2 to 3% annually with no-till methods, dramatically improving soil texture, fertility, and water retention. Earthworms, up to 1 million per acre, produce their own weight in rich castings every single day. The result? Soil that gets better, not worse, with age, without chemicals, machines, or soil replacements. Now that you've seen how the Amish grow year-round gardens without spending a fortune or relying on chemicals, the question is, what can you take from their methods and use in your own backyard? Are you already composting? Do you plant with the moon? Or is this your first time hearing about cover crops and cold frames? Drop a comment below and let us know what you're excited to try, or what's already working for you. If you found even one useful tip in this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps support the channel. And if you want more time-tested strategies for frugal, self-sufficient living, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. The secrets are simple, but only if someone shares them.